with the Giants, and he also said that he saw some similarities between Kansas City and your team. I'm interested in how much of an influence Coach Reid's been on you and what things potentially you maybe adopted from what he does.
Yeah, well, Britt Reid, who's on their staff, worked with me when I was the offensive coordinator at Temple and did a tremendous job. During that time, I got to know the Reid family, Coach Reid, Miss Tammy, who's always been fantastic to Julie over the years and fantastic to me as well. Then their younger son, Spencer, played for us at Temple before leaving to go on a mission and then finishing up in Utah. But just a great family. And, I think the things, obviously I didn't work for Coach Reid, Jeff Nixon, who's on our staff, did. But the things that I've always taken away from Coach were just his consistency. He's the same guy every day. You can't tell when you're around him. Are they winning? Are they losing? I mean, he just has a plan and he sticks to it. He doesn't panic. And I think as a result, people respond to him and relate to him. And so his work ethic is legendary. And he's always been there anytime I had a question or needed something. So I'm very grateful to him. In terms of, similarities, I think when you look statistically, at what they've done offensively, and some of the things that we've done well offensively, there are a lot of things that do match up. I think they've just put the ball in the end zone a lot more, whereas we've kicked a lot more field goals. And so we've talked about that a lot here, having to, I think they have 41 touchdowns and or field goal opportunities, and we have 39. The problem is they have more touchdowns and we have more field goals. And so, they are advanced in their system. They know what they're doing. They've been in it a while. Our guys are doing a great job. They're growing in it. And, we can only hope to have the success that they've had.
Let's go to Josh Klein and then Miles Simmons.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, the biggest question is Christian. Looked like he was back at practice today. Any updates on how did you think he looked out there?
Yeah, Christian was at practice today. He looked like Christian. He looked good. He looks sharp. We'll see how his body responds to, obviously he did a little bit last week. But this was his first padded day. See how his body responds to, the duress of today and to see how it responds tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon.
And then just real quick, I know you not to talk too much about injuries, but Jeremy Chin in the knee, was that something that cropped up recently, or he's been kind of dealing with it for a while?
No, just something coming out of the last game. Sometimes when you're a rookie, you have some things from college that can get aggravated, but we'll just kind of play it by ear and see how he feels over the next couple of days.
Hey, Matt, how nice was it to have Rasul Douglas back today, and just what has he meant to your defense overall this year?
It was fantastic to have Rasul back. He's a really, really, really good corner, really good player, but he's an even better teammate, tremendous leader. I just love having the guy around. I know that his teammates do too, so I was happy to see him back out there and back at it.
Let's go to Joe Person and then David Newton.
Hey, Matt, back on the Britt Reid deal. Andy said that Britt was lobbying for you to get a position on that Eagles staff. Did you know that was going on, and how close do you think you came to getting a gig in Philly?
Not close enough, apparently. So, I probably was putting them up to it. Like I said, I love the family. The opportunity to have coached under Coach Reid, to learn under him, would be something that any young coach would want. And you look at all the coaches that are having success as head coaches out on their own after spending time with him. So, Britt always tried to put a good word in for me, but never quite worked out.
And is there anything you've done in shaping your program or your staff that was in any way influenced by Andy, or no? Probably
not too much, just because I never worked for him. the one thing I've always taken away, like I said, just talking to Jeff and talking to, Britt and talking to some other guys on that staff, just how, he never panicked. He never changed things up, when they won or when they lost, like the plan's the plan. The process is the process. And I think a lot of people make emotional, rash decisions. They listen to outside noise, or they start to panic inside, and they start doing all kinds of different things. And Coach Reed, I think people really enjoy working for him. Now, it's hard. You have to be a grinder, but they really enjoy working for him, playing for him, because he's just so consistent. And so that's the message that I personally took away from my time around him, that I've tried to apply. Maybe not always successfully, but I've tried.
Hey, Matt, hope you're doing well. Wanted to ask you, what's the difference in preparing for a guy like Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray, who both run around a lot? And who's your scout team quarterback for both, if it's the same?
Kyler's more of a scramble and take off, and he runs 4.3. Now he's got a great arm. He can throw it down the field. I think the biggest thing with Mahomes is that he can throw. He's completed balls. He can drop balls in from 55, 60, 65 yards away. So you can scramble up and or he can scramble out, and you can run up to try to take away the run, but then he'll throw the ball over your head for a touchdown. Both very similar, both dynamic players, both guys who can make plays with their feet and with their arms. I just think, his arm strength is so severe. He's so strong that they can run double moves at 30 yards, which they can run routes that you don't ever see. You don't ever see some of the routes that they run at the depths that they run them. And it's just because of their elite speed, his arm strength. And then they also have a fantastic offensive line. And then, we always rotate all three guys. I mean, Teddy always wants to take scout team reps. I think he feels like that's important for the team. And Will and PJ both, both guys can throw the ball a long way, so they both were out there today.
Let's go to Jonathan Jones and then Phil Orban.
Hey, Matt, wanted to ask you about third down conversions for your defense. Obviously, you guys have been struggling with that this season. Been good on third and long when you can get them in third and long, but, third and short and intermediate has been a struggle for you all. Halfway through the season, have you been able to diagnose what those issues have been for you all?
I would say it's never just one thing. Like we stopped them on 3rd and 1 last week down at the goal line, which we hadn't, I believe up until that point, hadn't had a 3rd and 1 stop. Stopped them, and then they kicked it. I think we've played man, we've pressured, and I think last week is really, and I hate to go back talking about last week as we're getting ready for this game, but I think there's always truth in everything. Like, I think, and I don't have it in front of me, I think they finished 3 of 9. But when you add in the 3 holding calls, that's really, 6 of 12. So they're really 50% on third down. But on those holding calls, we had a sack, we had a stop, like we really got off the field, and then penalties hurt us. And so to me, it's like, well, it wasn't one guy holding 3 times. It was 3 different guys. And we had made a commitment, hey, we're going to play more man this week. Didn't play quite as much man against the Saints. So I think just, we're just trying to each week find the matchups that are in our favor, get to the quarterback, because that's the number one way to get off the field. And we've gotten some pressure. But I don't think it's any one thing. I think it's just, a little bit of everything. And even some of that is even 1st and 2nd down, I mean, if you're in 3rd and 3, the odds tilt dramatically in the offense's favor. So you have to be in 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. And that happens by what you do on 1st and 2nd down. So all of it is just kind of free flows on top of each other. And we're just trying to get better at everything we do. That's the only way I know right now for our guys to improve as a team, is just keep improving in every area that we can. 1st down, 2nd down, and then all the different 3rd down areas.
Hey, Matt, understanding Rasul's back and Dante got an extra couple days to get healthy. Those other guys in the secondary that were kind of forced into action on Thursday night, how valuable can those reps be? And is there ever any concern with putting some of the younger guys in a situation like that, maybe before you would want to in an ideal situation?
Well, I think in a perfect world, you don't want to put young players in before they're ready, because, sometimes a lack of success can can affect them, and it can, it might, sometimes you don't even see it, but it can affect their confidence for a long time. That being said, we're in the situation that we're in. Rasul missed the last 2 games. Dante's been limited. So you put the young guys in and let them play. And there's no doubt, absolutely no doubt in my mind that those reps accelerated their growth. But here again, we're not playing for the future. We're trying to win now. We're trying to win this week because that's what we owe our team. And so hopefully that the benefit of those reps will show up this week and next week, because you never know when you're going to have to be counted on. And, there's a standard for performance for us, and we need everyone to match it.
Let's go to Steve Reed and then Elena Getzenberg.
Hey, Matt, I just want to follow up quickly on Christian. Right now, I understand it's Wednesday, but are you anticipating that he will play this week? Are you preparing as if he will play this week?
I practiced him. Again, I'm taking it kind of day by day. I'm also practicing Mike and Trenton and Rodney Smith. So I'll see how he does tomorrow. But I'm very hopeful that he can play. We're excited to see him play, but I also understand that we have to see how the body reacts.
Hey, Matt, I know you seem like you're going to see where Jeremy Chin is this week, but how would you go about replacing what he does for this defense? Just because, he fills a variety of roles. Even if he's limited Sunday, how do you kind of go about replacing what he does?
I don't know that any one guy can, just because of, as you said, the versatility. You would just play people in more, different people in more traditional roles. You wouldn't be able to kind of have the hybrid nature of him going from safety to nickel to will. You'd have to just, hey, on this package, here's our nickel, here's our will, here's our safety.
Let's go to Jonathan Alexander and then Jason Huber.
Not going to lie, I was going to ask the same question Elena was going to ask, but the trade deadline came and went. Were there any areas that you were hoping to address that you didn't get to address through that you may address further through practice squads, free agency, or anything like that?
I think Marty and his staff, they're always trying to improve the team. Specific, as you guys know, to get a guy in here for the practice squad, it's a 7-day wait this year. So, you have to sign someone now hoping that they're ready, sometime next week. Needed. You're really trying to look into the future. So it's as difficult a process as you can imagine, just in terms of seeing what the future holds. But yeah, we're always trying to look and see, hey, who's out there? How can they help us? We believe that even improving some position on practice squad makes our team better. And we're just trying to improve the team in every area.
Hey, Matt, I've got 2 questions for you. The first one, I'm not sure how much you can answer, but with the backup quarterback position, with PJ Walker and with Cap possibly coming back in the near future, is that something that still you can go week by week, especially because you mentioned Walker being an emergency, possibly running back? Would Will Grier come more into consideration as being the backup if McCaffrey comes back?
Yeah, I think once Christian's back, that whole, hey, PJ having to be the third tailback, is no longer as important, and it can be strictly based on, quarterback play, quarterback preparation, the quarterback test, all the different things that Jake and Joe, use each week. It won't be as system, position. Hey, I'm also backing up over here based.
And then the second thing, more just with the Chiefs facing a team like that, defending champions, one of the best team in the league, really. Is there any, I know you want to, you go into every week with the same mindset of wanting to win, but is there any type of message that, you'll kind of see how you do stack up kind of against the best, or is there any more of a challenge preparing, this week that is on your minds?
Well, the challenge is them on tape. They're a really good team. To me, that's the ultimate challenge, just, how good of a team they are. But, for me, we're strictly focused on us and making us better. We feel like we've played a bunch of games that we feel like we could have won, but we did not win. And we feel like we did not win them because of our performance by the coaches, players, staff, everyone. The Carolina Panthers us. If we were just a player or two better, would have won those games. And so we're trying to focus on getting a couple plays better every week. And if that means we win this week, next week, the week after, awesome. But if we continue to improve, there will come a day where we will, we'll win and win consistently, because every week we get better. And so this week, excited about the opportunity to go to Kansas City and play. We know they have a great team, but my focus is on our staff and players and the Carolina Panthers.
All right, guys, we have time for two more. So let's go to JB Ricks and then finish up with Joe Person.
Hey, Coach, JB Ricks here from Spectrum News 1. Thanks for taking out the time. Andy Reid said about you earlier that he was very impressed with how you were able to put a good product on the field, considering that you didn't have a training camp to work with and you didn't get much time with your players during the off season because of COVID. When it comes to the transition you had to make from college to the NFL, what do you like most about the product that you have put on the field as a first-year NFL head coach through these 8 games? And is there anything that you would change for the second half of the season?
Well, I mean, I think we're a team that's improved every week, but most importantly, we're a team where guys have stepped up. I think if we drew it up coming in, we came in and we said, hey, KK is going to be a stalwart here and Christian's going to be a stalwart here. And, we had different plans for different people. So even with that short training camp, I think we had a good plan. And as those guys got banged up, as those guys got injured, we've had to adapt. And I feel like our coaches, I feel like our players, most importantly, have adapted, and guys have stepped up and filled roles. And so as we now begin to see guys come back, right? If we can get Christian back, if we can get Russell back, if we can get, Yetur back, if we can get Burris back, if we can get guys back, then what we also have gained is we've gained the experience of some of those other guys. And so we get Rasul back, we get Schofield and Larson back, hopefully. So I guess my point being, I love the fact that guys have stepped up. I love the fact that our staff has adapted. If we can, take that approach, I think I said from the very beginning with COVID, whatever we do now under the hardest of circumstances will be built to last, because it won't be like this forever. And when we do have OTAs and training camps, the foundation that we build now is something special. All that being said, I would like to see us go win close games. We've done a lot of good things. We've been in position to win games. But we've had 4 games where we came down to the end and we weren't able to go get the W. And I know our players feel that way. They'd be the first to tell you that. And me as well. We want to go win those close games in this second half of the season. And so we'll keep trying to improve. We'll keep trying to see guys step up, but we also want to go win the close games.
Thanks so much.
Matt, did you guys, I'm assuming, kind of keep tabs on Seth DeValve after releasing him with the non-football injury? And then related, what does he bring to you guys, and is kind of like a sort of a trade deadline acquisition in a different kind of way?
Well, when we signed Seth in free agency, we really liked him as a pass receiving tight end, a guy who can get down the seam, catch the ball. Initially, as he was in the virtual meetings, extremely intelligent football guy, football character, liked everything about him. His situation arose. He had to go get himself healthy, got himself healthy. I obviously, was working, but, Marty stays on top of those things. And the hope was that if he ever did get healthy, we could, convince him to come back here. And, he's cleared now. He cleared the testing protocols. He's, on the practice squad. And so what exactly we have in him, I saw him today for the first time live, so it's almost like what I would have normally seen in a rookie mini camp, or veteran mini camp I saw today for the first time. So we'll see where he's at over the next couple of days, much like Christian. I even pulled him aside today and said, hey, don't try to do too much, don't, this is something that we want to build you into. So, but he's definitely someone we signed, with purpose. So to get him back here was something that we wanted.
All right, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Ian, can you hear us on your end?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you. Perfect. All right, guys, just a reminder, please use the raise hand button if you have questions for Ian. If someone wants to open up with the first one, the floor is open.
Hey, Ian, how you doing? It's Joe Person.
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you. Just talking with Matt and Andy Reid today, they were talking about, both of them, some similarities in the Chiefs offense and what you guys are trying to do. I wondered if you see that as well, and if so, where?
Yeah, I mean, we basically have the same speed they have. I mean, it's the NFL. Teams are good. I personally think we're a good team, so we're going to do our best to go out there and take the W.
Hey, Ian, it's Josh from the Riot Report. Is there anything to be said for, you said in the NFL teams are good. Is there anything behind the idea that, like, these are the Super Bowl champs, you're going to Arrowhead? Obviously, intimidation is not the right word for it, but just kind of that thought of looking at, like, here are the Chiefs.
No, not really. I mean, we grown men. We put our socks on just like they put our socks on. I mean, that's an old saying, but it's true. I mean, we're going to go out there, be physical, be the team that we are.
Let's go to Miles Simmons and then Elena Getzenberg.
Hey, Ian. So tight ends this year in this offense, I mean, for whatever reason, you guys haven't had that many targets and that many catches. Is there something you can put your finger on for that? And obviously, you had three catches against Atlanta. Do you feel like you guys are starting to get more into it at this point?
I mean, I think we're getting open more. People are, I guess, taking the eye off us and covering more speed on the field. So, I mean, that could potentially be it.
Hey, Ian, kind of following up on Miles' question, I was just curious, for you, how do you feel like this season has gone so far? I know, like, we pay a lot of attention to how many receptions you have, but, like, in terms of blocking and all around, how do you feel like your season has gone this year?
I think my season has been going pretty well. Right, I haven't had as many catches as I want to have, but the blocking aspect has been pretty good, I think. And, yeah, I mean, the tight ends are doing well overall, and, I mean, that's what we like to have, so.
Let's go to Josh Klein and then Sharon Thorsland.
Ian, just on improving blocking as a tight end, how is that something that you were you able to work on that during the offseason? And then how much of a difference does it make, obviously, being in practice and kind of having these first 8 weeks to go through that?
I mean, in the offseason, you're not really blocking anyone, like, competitively, but like a bag, And then once camp came and then the games came, you had to kind of get used to it real quick. So, I mean, a lot of practice reps and a lot of game reps is what really help you become a better blocker, become a better player overall.
Hey, Ian, when you look at the Chiefs, what are your first impressions of their defense? What kind of a defense do they have? How would you describe them?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
When you look at the Chiefs and their defense, how would you describe them? What are your initial impressions of their defense?
Aggressive, physical. I mean, they're a good defense, like you said before, the Super Bowl champs from last year, and you hear that a lot. But I mean, we have a great offense, and I'm pretty confident in our offense.
Let's go to Joe Person.
Hey, Ian, you were kind of in this situation the last couple of years with Greg, where he would be down and you would play and get your opportunity, and then he comes back. So what would you say to Mike Davis with Christian coming back, if the two of you were to talk about, what you went through and how, what you might offer to him advice-wise?
I mean, Mike is a NFL vet, and I'm pretty sure he knows when his time comes, he have to perform. And I mean, like, everyone knows or may experience once in their career, like, you may be sitting for a while and have to jump in there and play. And I'm pretty sure Mike knows his role and knows what he has to do when he get on the field. So like before, when he jumped in, and then now Mike blew up, and I mean, that's what he's supposed to do as a player once his name is called. So, I mean, I wouldn't really have anything to say because I feel like he's already been through that. He already knows what to do.
Did his success the last 6-7 weeks or so, does that kind of make you guys a more dangerous team to prepare for now, with the idea that maybe both those guys are in at the same time potential?
For sure. Yeah. You gotta prepare to defend two different backs, I think. And I mean, it's pretty hard to defend both of them. So it's gonna be fun to see how it plays out.
Let's go to Elena Getzenberg and then Josh Klein.
Hey, and I was curious, for you, when you walk away from a game with like one catch or two catches, and you think about all the offensive weapons that you guys have, how do you kind of balance that between, you'd, like you said, you'd like to have more catches up to this point, but also, with DJ and Robbie and everyone wanting the ball, how do you kind of deal with that personally?
I mean, it's a team game. We pros and just gotta wait till my time coming when it comes and gotta perform. So, I mean, there's nothing really sad I can be about, really, because it's just the name of the game.
And when you say like, you wish love to have more catches, is that something that you feel like you can be doing better, or just the offense, how the offense is going, or Teddy, or why do you think that is?
I mean, it's nothing about our offense. It's just, I guess, the way teams defend us, you know what I mean? And I mean, of course I can improve anything as a player myself. So yeah, it's just getting more reps, I guess, and then see how teams play us and then go from there.
Hey, Ian, obviously you don't watch Chiefs offensive tape, but you are probably familiar with Travis Kelce. What is it that makes him such a good tight end, and do you try to emulate that in any of your play?
I think his ability to get open, and I mean, it's kind of hard to mock it because coaches want different things from different players and different offenses. So, I mean, there's little things you can take away from everyone's game, but the overall offense is kind of, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to mock someone else's game in a different system.
All right, guys, we have time for one more, so let's go to Jonathan Alexander before we wrap it up.
Hey, Ian, hope you're doing well, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry if you've been asked, because I missed this. But have you noticed at all any level of excitement or extra confidence boost since Christian has come back, particularly the fact that he just participated in his first padded practice?
Yeah, everyone's excited for him to be back. I mean, anyone would be excited for anybody to come back from an injury and then play again, especially Christian. But I mean, football, people get hurt and just got to move on. And then, well, when he come back, we definitely excited about him being at practice, and hopefully he plays this weekend. So, yeah.
All right, Ian, appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys, we should have Brian Burns joining us. Perfect. All right, let's go to Jonathan Alexander to start, and then Mike Solarte.
Brian, hope you're doing well.
Yeah, doing good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Was definitely impressed with the Major Payne skid. Was wondering how that came about and the level, the production it took to get that.
That's one of my favorite movies. I did Blue Streak last year. That's also one of my favorite movies, but I decided to do something a little different. I didn't feel like a lot of people would do Major Payne. I don't think a lot of people were thinking about it. And I had a little team team put together a little production team, and we got it done.
Brian, Mike Solarte, Spectrum News 1. Good to see you. Kansas City week. It all starts with Patrick. I mean, they've got weapons all over the field. How do you blanket these guys and slow them down?
Yeah, like you said, it starts with Patrick. Everything runs through him. Patty. Yeah, everything runs through him. So I mean, if we can pressure him, keep him uncomfortable in the pocket, hit him a lot, I feel like things will slowly start going our way. But we just have to try to limit the explosive plays between him and his weapons.
And a quick follow to that, he gets out of the pocket so well. I mean, the guy's a water bug.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to be uncomfortable in the pocket, but it seems like he gets uncomfortable in the pocket. He just leaves the pocket, and then he becomes a bigger threat maybe.
With him, you got to kind of like plaster your guy. If he gets out, you kind of got to leave it to the D-line. So we have to have like a relentless rush to stay after him and to really get him down. But like you said, he'll throw from anywhere, honestly. Like he doesn't have a set point. Like he'll roll out to his right. I don't really think he likes going to his left that much. But I think it's kind of balanced. But anyway, you just got to be relentless with him and keep going after him.
Let's go to David Newton and then Miles Simmons.
Hey, Brian, I got a couple questions for you. One is, what's the difference when you're trying to contain Patrick Mahomes compared to Kyler Murray?
Kyler is more of a – I feel like Pat extends plays to make deep throws. I don't feel like Kyler really looks too much for trying to throw the ball deep for an explosive play. I feel like Kyler he'll more take off. Patty will really just get out just to extend the play, probably get some guys to come out of coverage and then hit you deep. I don't really think Kyler's looking for that. But that's pretty much in the speed, obviously. Kyler's, no offense to Patty, but Kyler's way faster than him. So that's pretty much it.
Another one was about Jeremy. I know he wasn't out there today, but what have you seen out of him as a rookie? I mean, he just went through that whole rookie experience last year. What's impressed you the most about Jeremy Chin, the way he's played?
He plays hard. That's one thing I can really say about Chin. He don't take a lot of plays off, and he has great instincts for this to be his first year. He's really impressed me along the way. I mean, he's a good player. But yeah, I told him to rest up. Like you don't need to rush anything. Like it's probably more serious than what he thinks. So, but yeah, he's a great player, man.
Brian, what does it mean to have Rasul Douglas back, and just what has he meant to you guys defensively as a whole, especially considering he only got here week 1?
He's just a dog. He has a dog mentality in that back end, and he's a great player, and I'm glad he's back. He does a great job with some of the bigger receivers. So yeah, but he just got a dog mentality. Like he's just a pure dog, in my opinion.
Let's go to Phil Orban and then Sharon Thorslin.
Hey, Brian, it's got to be so frustrating when you're so close to making a play and you're just kind of a half inch short. But on Sunday, how do you keep your composure, understanding that at some point Patrick's probably going to do something dynamic when you think you have him and he's going to make a play? Like how do you kind of maintain your composure and move on to the next play when you're so close and a guy is able to make a play on you?
It's all about staying, like, not getting too high, not getting too low. You just gotta know, like, with great players like that. I mean, what, he's have $500 million? But anyway, you just gotta know with great players like that, something's gonna happen. You don't want it to happen, but at some point it's gonna happen, and you just gotta be able to be ready to bounce back. So that's kind of my game plan. I don't want to get too high, too low, dealing with Pat. So that's about it.
Hey, Brian, when you look at the Chiefs rushing attack, and they've got that rookie, Edwards-Helaire, who's been doing so well, how would you describe him as a back, and why has he been able to have so much success coming in as a rookie?
He's a stout. He's a stout guy. He's a short, compact running back. I think he runs behind his pads, and we're going to have to strike him a lot. I mean, I'm talking about multiple people at him at once. I think the best way to tackle him is to gang tackle him. I feel like if you got numbers, you could definitely tire him out, and he won't want to run like that the rest of the game.
All right, guys, we have time for one more, so let's go to Josh Klein before we wrap it up. Unless Josh doesn't have a question.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
not good at this Zoom thing after 6 months. Brian, if I'm also a fan of Major Payne and Blue Streak, what other movies would you recommend that I put on my queue?
I think you should watch Life, all the Fridays, all the rush hours, Training Day. I mean, this is just my list that I go by. American Gangster. It's a lot of movies you can watch. We'll talk about it later, though. I'll get at you.
Okay. All right. You already you did the Training Day speech already. So I think you're kind of giving us a clue as to what your Halloween costume is next year.
Not at all.
Okay.
All right, guys, we got to let him go. Brian, we appreciate it.
All right, Joe.
Thanks, Brian.
Dante, you here?
Yeah.
Perfect. How we doing? All right, guys. No one has their hand raised yet, so if someone wants to start us off, go for it.
Hey, Dante, how's the just give us an update on the toe. How's it feeling this week?
It's getting there. I'm still, working to. I met with a few doctors, a few specialists over this weekend, to take a better look at it. It's feeling better. It's just, just trying not to aggravate it, man.
Let's go to Mike Slarte and then Miles Simmons.
Thanks, Preston. Hey, Dante. Defensively, the challenge this week, it seems like it starts at quarterback with Patrick Mahomes, but Brian Burns was saying this is a week of really plastering guys to limit his options to throw it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's a guy, there's a lot of quarterbacks in this league that once you get them off their spot, they're different guys, in terms of like the throws they can make and just the things they can do, when they get off their spot. And he's just one of those rare guys that it really doesn't matter, if you get him off his spot or not. Only thing that really matters is getting him on the ground. Because like if you get him off his spot or get him uncomfortable, he still can make the same amount of throws. He still can, make flashy plays. So definitely on the back end, we're gonna have to definitely make sure we plaster. Make sure we have, great eye discipline, and just make sure we dropping where we're supposed to drop, and just try to eliminate the self-inflicting wounds.
Hey, Dante, I have a couple things for you. First, what does it mean to have Rasul Douglas back with you guys?
Oh, it means a lot. It means a lot, man. I'm sure you guys can see it. Rasul's he came in since the Raiders game, and he's just been, a guy who never complains. He just come out and work. So just getting him back is definitely, gives us a great boost of confidence. Just to have him back on the field, moving around, and just to get to see him in the building is definitely a great feeling.
And then something that Matt Rhule was talking about earlier is that with the Chiefs, he said that they run routes differently than a lot of teams. If they so they do moves like double moves and things differently and deeper than a lot of teams will do because of Patrick Mahomes' arm strength. What does that mean for you as a corner and how you guys have to, I guess, play different routes as the Chiefs are doing them?
Well, mostly it's just discipline, man. It's making sure your eyes are in the right spot. Like I stated, just not getting lured to sleep about him running around, about him, moving the pocket, about him just, trying to get, because he's always comfortable. So you just got to make sure you're just doing everything. If you got to stay high, stay high. If you got a guy in front of you that you need to be more closer to, attached to, be attached to him, be close to him. If you got a zone drop that you got to drop, just make sure you make your drops. And that's just something that we all been making sure we really detailed on. We had a little extra time to really look into, things that they like to do. So just making sure we're very, very disciplined, making sure we're very, very just poised, and not really getting ahead of ourselves, because that's an explosive team. So some plays are gonna be made, but we just gotta make sure we stay together.
Let's go to Elena Getzenberg and then Joe Person.
Hey, Dante, I know you're sick of talking about this toe,
but
and it's probably a big pain for you. But I was curious, like when mid-game, like it starts hurting and like against the Falcons, and you just can't go anymore. What's that feel like for you? Like
it's super, 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 super. I can't express how much of a frustrating feeling it is, because when you get out there and you just want to be out there and you want to help your teammates, you want to be out there and you want to fight with your teammates, I'm a big guy on, when I'm not able to go, coaching my guys up, just making sure I'm staying in tune and staying, live on the sideline. But it's very, very frustrating when I can't get out there and help them. And like, especially when I feel like I'm really playing, at a high level, I really just feel like, my teammates, they have been very, very supportive. But I know it's just frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. I'll be feeling good all the way until it's not. And once it's not, it's just like, all right, like I'm not taking no more. And it's like I said, I can't stress how frustrating it really is, especially for a competitor like me. I just want to get out there and compete and help my team win and help my team be successful. And when I can't do that, it's just, it hurts me a lot. And, but I just trying to stay on it, man. Stay on this treatment and try to keep this thing right. Because like I said, when it's feeling good, it's feeling good. But I just can't try to let it get me too down. But it's very frustrating.
And if I could just follow up on that, when you met with the doctor specialist this weekend, are you going to try any new cleats or something different? Is there anything they advised you on doing?
I'm trying a new acupuncture routine to like help minimize the pain when it does start hurting. That's something I've been doing since I want to say Friday or Saturday. Friday. I've been doing that since Friday, and that's been that like throughout the weekend and letting it like rest a little bit and still staying on it with the treatment. That's that helped me have a better day today on it. So just gonna keep going. I know it's just an uphill battle. I know that this is something that just won't just go away on its own. You got to really just force it and stay on it. And that's just what I've been doing, trying, like I said, trying not to let it get me too down. My teammates been very, very supportive. My teammates been right on my side, making sure that that they know that they're there for me and stuff like that. So just got to stay on it and just be a pro about it.
Dante, you guys are in the midst of a stretch of games against some of the best NFL quarterbacks currently and maybe all time. You obviously have been in the league. You played at cornerback, but what is that? How daunting a challenge is that for some of the younger defensive backs that you guys have been relying on?
Oh, we don't blink. And that's something Trey Boston, myself, and Rhule and Justin Burris, that's some things we just try to keep in the air in the secondary room. We don't blink. These guys, like, I see it as the way I see it. I see it as all the quarterbacks we face are really, really good. If you playing against what guys did, then everybody's a great player. We just go out there and focus on Sunday. Whoever the opponent may be, that's just one of the things that we preach. Since we have so many young guys back there. And I was a young guy once with Mike Adams. Telling me that I can't be Aaron Rodgers fan this week. Like, you know, I'm just a football head, and we have guys like that in the room who obviously been watching football their whole life, who obviously have been watching these guys do great things their whole life. But you just got to play the game that's happening on Sunday and play against the quarterback that's playing on Sunday, and not what he's done or not what he's going to do. So there's just something that we just preach in there to the young guys and try to keep them up.
Let's go to Josh Klein and then David Newton.
Dante, you talked about talking to the younger guys in the room. What advice do you have for Chin, who is dealing with this knee thing? He's had a hip stuff in terms of dealing with injuries when you're in the NFL versus when you're in college. Because I know you've had some lingering injuries in your career.
I just told him from experience, the first thing I did, and especially last year, was I got my mental out of it. Like, I lost my head when I couldn't get out there and compete. I lost my head when I just couldn't be myself, when I wasn't 100. Even when I got back off my injury, I couldn't be myself because I just wasn't in it mentally. And that's just the one thing I like to tell him. Like, I actually told Chin that today, but I'd like to tell that to any of the young guys or any person. Really don't have to be a young guy. If I experienced it, I like to, you know, put my little 2 cents in it if they want. But I just really just tell them, just keep your head in there, and don't really let the fact that you can't really go, or you can't be yourself, you can't be 100 like dawn on you mentally, because that'll mess up everything for you. Your game, that'll mess up your preparation, that'll even mess up your treatment of trying to come back from your injury once you let your head go. And I know that's one thing I did when I pulled my groin last year. I just let my head go, and it messed up my game, it messed up my performance, it messed up just everything that dealing with, you know, this sport. So just that's my basic thing. Like, just keep your head in it. Make sure you still come in here ready to have fun. Make sure you still come in here ready to just work, regardless of your limitations. So just keep your head in it. That's one thing I told Chen. I actually told him that today.
Hey, Dante, good to see you doing well. Good to see you talking about your toe still. So hope there are more jokes. Staying on that Chin line, what about him? You went through the rookie thing a few years ago, and what about him has impressed you the most? Any player or anything that stood out the most to you?
He's really poised. You know, he's rarely rattled. Like, he's water, really. You know, and it's a lot of young guys from the top guys to the not so top guys. You know, you're gonna, at some point you're gonna be champagne, you're gonna be soda. And once something go wrong, you're gonna burst, and you're gonna want to do, you're gonna want to explode. But he's rarely that. You know, he's most of the time he's water. Most of the time he's always level-headed. He's always willing to learn, and he's always willing to work. And that's just some things that you just can't teach.
Thanks.
All right, guys, we have time for 2 more. So let's go to Phil Orban and then Deshaun Brown.
Hey, Dante, Matt talked about the experience that the younger guys got when you and Rasul were both out Thursday night. You were obviously in a different situation, but do you kind of remember your first game action and the kind of the difference between that game action and the preseason action, and how that kind of helps your growth and development?
Oh, it helped a lot. Just like the way that I play the game now, is everything just slowing down a little bit. So definitely, like, getting out there in the game, it really like helps you, getting those game experience, getting those game reps, especially against like great players or great quarterbacks. It just definitely one thing, it helps your confidence, and it helps your game overall. It's some guys are gonna come out there and just be, a alpha right off the spot, but some guys you got to trickle in. You have to get a feel for the game, stuff like that. So I just think that getting those experience, getting those game reps, it definitely helps with your confidence. It helps with your just understanding the sport more. Like I can say rules off the back of my head that I didn't even know before I got out there and actually started playing and actually started moving around. So it definitely helps with just the overall game of football, like just being out there. So.
Hey, Dante, and thank you for taking the time. I did want to circle back to what you were saying about eye discipline. I remember you mentioned this was something that you worked on a lot during the off season. How do you see the game differently now?
It's very, very slower. It's very slow. It's very, I just have I would hear the play. I can see the formation and I can automatically like start eliminating things in my head or start, you know, knowing like, all right, I might get this and this. I might be a little late on this. It just makes I understand the game a little bit more, you know, especially when you have a play where you have good eyes and good feet, because sometimes you can have good eyes and bad feet and still be able to make a play. And just like I don't really know how to explain it. It's just like it's just slowing down, it's just understanding it more. I can be more vocal out there. I can just be more, you know, I can communicate a little bit more because like I start seeing stuff before plays and stuff. And it just, like I said, I really can't explain it. It's just like a feeling I have when I'm just out there.
I do want to follow up quickly on that. Did you grasp the significance of good vision when you're out there before? Did you really feel the difference now?
Oh, definitely feel the difference now. I definitely took having good eyes and good patience. I took it for granted because I'm such a good athlete. So I never really had to like focus on things like that until like I really forced myself and started making myself do it. And then I realized that it makes the game a whole lot easier, especially if you're a good athlete.
All right, guys, we got to let them go. Dante, we appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.